Guild Battlegrounds is finally getting defensive boosts. There's changes to matchmaking, and at the end of this video, I am going to waste 3 minutes of your time complaining about Guild Battlegrounds, despite the fact that I think these changes are overall pretty good. Let's jump into it. The big, flashy change is, of course, the defense boosts. Now, some provinces will require defense boosts, and some will require attack boosts. These are shown via the detailed mode, which seems to be the new default, and will also be shown when actually clicking on each province up at the top. While the exact distribution of attack versus defending provinces is random, the waterfall map will have a higher chance for defending provinces, and the volcano map will have more attacking provinces. When you take a province, it will randomly choose which type of boost enemy guilds will require. Based on the very limited number of provinces I've seen so far, it looks like the chance for each is split 60-40. This means that if you do want to compete in Guild Battlegrounds, you will want to build up some pretty strong defense boosts. I bet that Enchanted Elixir's Emporium from the Halloween event is looking pretty good right now. The Flower Arboretum from the Anniversary event is also very good for defense boosts. I have a feeling that if you invest heavily in defense boosts right now, you'll be able to get a lot of prime spots on the map to farm fights. I wouldn't be surprised if guilds suddenly get members competing against one another to get fights in on the attack boost provinces. All in all though, I'm happy that the boosts were implemented like this, rather than separate maps. It means that you could still focus on just one boost type, especially in higher level play if you're in a good guild that can work together, but if you want to be able to hit all the provinces, you will need to be a bit more balanced. In addition to the defense boost though, the maximum attrition has now been increased. 300 attrition is the new cap, and at that point the enemy boosts are a whopping 41,325%. Good luck beating that anytime soon. This chart shows the attrition over time, and as you can see, it is a sizable increase. None of the values for levels 0 to 250 have been changed. Don't be scared off by the high boosts, however. It's likely you'll be fighting faster than ever. The reward pop-ups have been changed to the reward ribbon, like when you collect your city or play the guild expeditions placed in the bottom corner. Not only that, but the fight, auto battle, and OK buttons are all aligned without changing window size, and I think all the old guild versus guild players know what that means. So if you see players fighting really quickly, before you immediately assume them to be cheating, they may just be faster at clicking than you are. And yes, I know I'm fighting really slowly here in this clip. For some reason, I'm getting pretty high ping and losing packets on beta. Usually it's nowhere near this bad, and I'm too lazy to re-record this when it's fixed. Anyways, matchmaking has also been significantly changed with this update. While it is a bit hard to explain, an avoidance feature has been added that means you are less likely to get matched with guilds you've already faced in the same championship. This should make it a little bit more fair who gets matched with whom. On top of that, the league point ranges for the 5 leagues have changed. Now, Diamond League and those fragments of the championship towers and tourney grounds are exclusive to guilds at the maximum 1,000 league points. In other words, if you want any decent rewards from Guild Battlegrounds, you will need to be at 1,000 league points. For once, the way guilds are ranked will actually play into the matchmaking, but only every 3rd season. In the 3rd and 6th season of each championship, there will be special rounds for the Diamond League. Guilds are divided into groups of 4, not the standard 8, based on their rank in the leaderboard. The top 4 guilds are grouped, then the next 4, and so on. In these seasons, no guild will lose league points, but the competition to win should be quite fierce. Remember, ranking has the component of victory points too, so these tougher seasons could decide who comes out on top. In one very nice quality of life change that I did not see coming, province buildings have been made more affordable for lower leagues. They'll cost the same as always in Diamond League, but even just Platinum will have the buildings 50% cheaper. That should make it a little bit more accessible for smaller guilds with a weaker treasury to join in the battlegrounds. This update brings 2 new province buildings, the Field Outpost and the Guild Fortress. These will offer a static increase of extra victory points to your guild's hourly total, with the difference between the two being that the fortress can only be placed on your starting province and the outpost on conquered provinces. Each of these buildings has 3 different levels like the other Guild Battlegrounds buildings. The Field Outpost will grant an extra 30, 50, or 100 victory points per hour and costs twice as much as the respective command posts, so up to 14,000 goods. The Guild Fortress will produce 100, 300, or 500 victory points per hour on your starting province, with it costing 150,000 guild goods in the Diamond League. As they are more expensive, they will cost more diamonds to speed up the building, up to 185 for the most expensive one. Don't worry though, the province buildings you know and love are still in the game. They've just received a new and improved look to feast your eyes upon. I wouldn't be surprised if everyone just keeps on building command posts and barracks though. I don't think these new buildings or the updates significantly change the meta relating to buildings. Now, earlier I did make the promise that I would spend 3 minutes of your time complaining about Guild Battlegrounds. I lied. It's only 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Throw up the timer, and here we go. First, we gotta talk about negotiations. I genuinely cannot understand why the negotiation button is still there taking up space on the interface. You can do dozens of fights in the time it takes you to do a single negotiation, unless you're like me with really bad packet loss, yet all the negotiation has going for it is getting double progress and a slightly higher chance to get a reward. They really should have at least some kind of improvement to make them worthwhile. Personally, I think players should be able to make a valid consideration between choosing to fight or negotiate. The way I'd change this is by making the negotiation give much more progress and a much greater reward chance. Maybe even a 100% chance of winning 2 rewards from the rewards pool. In essence, you'd gain more progress per attrition point and many more rewards, but would still be much slower than fighting and spending valuable goods. However it's done, negotiations in the Guild Battlegrounds and realistically the entire game need a little bit of love. I was also hoping we'd get something to make fighting a bit more dynamic in general. Some reason to get more army boosts other than just being able to fight longer. That's been a core issue of mine for years, as I think the gameplay really suffers from just being the auto battle button. If anything, I was hoping attrition would be made harder across the board to reduce the time needed, some kind of daily stretch goal for attrition completion with extra rewards, or something else. As a whole, Guild Battlegrounds really is missing an overarching goal in my opinion. The championship buildings are nice, but there's really not much else of a reason to engage with the feature, especially for guilds that will simply never be able to complete them. The guild expeditions and quantum incursions give much better rewards with more interesting and less time-consuming gameplay. There's not even a reason to push for a higher guild level, as the maximum levels have been reached already for years now by most active guilds. To be clear, I think that the competition between guilds will benefit from these changes, but only if your guild is at the very highest level of play. I think these changes will absolutely kill the competition in the Platinum League. Guilds who were previously match-made against other low Diamond League guilds will now be matched against guilds who struggled to take 3 provinces over an entire season. On a side note, I'd really like to see the championship building fragments given based on the overall guild ranking at the end of each season, kind of like Quantum Incursions does with the Neo Colossus Platinum upgrade. And finally, in my last 30 seconds, I know I and most other players have been hoping for some kind of method to get fragments of the old championship buildings. I'm not sure what the solution realistically could be, as they are very powerful buildings, and you do not want the top guilds getting even more of them. Maybe giving some of the fragments over time to guilds in the Platinum League? Anyways, I do believe that is time, so let's move on. Overall, my verdict is that I think these changes are definitely a step in the right direction. I'm glad we finally have a use for our defense boosts, and I think the avoidance mechanic especially is awesome. However, I would really like to see negotiations have improvements too, and some kind of reason to fight longer or build up more attack boosts in a way that makes doing so rewarding, not just a greater time sink that only increases repetitive gameplay. But those are just my thoughts. I'm interested to see how this changes the meta once it comes to live servers. Start preparing your defense boosts now if you haven't been building them up already. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and over on my Discord server linked below, and I'll see you all next time. But before that, bloopers. A whopping 40,000. Nope. They are a whopper. They are a... This is ridiculous. They are a whopping 41,325%.